This was a little bit what we thought it would be on the defensive end for both teams. I think both of us are capable of making more shots, but I know the defense had a lot to do with 32% for both teams. And if you're around long enough, you know that games have a feel about them. And when you go to the NCAA tournament, you have to be a grinder. You have to be a team that grinds out a win and plays possession by possession. Don't give anything easy and continue to compete. And that's the feel that this game had. That's a good team that we played. That's a team that will do well in their conference. That's a team that expects to go to the NCAA tournament. And I thought we guarded them very effectively. We made it hard for them to get good, easy looks. At the end, sometimes you see this too. When you just say, hey, we're down 10 with 46 seconds to go, and you let it fly, and some of them go in, and they did that. It went from 10 to 2 in a heartbeat. It happens. It happens everywhere. Wish it hadn't happened tonight, but it did. But to our credit, I believe we made something like 9 out of 10 free throws down the stretch and found a way to have enough offense to get a victory. We made it hard for them to score, and they made it hard for us. They're big. It's hard to finish, and they have a defense somewhat like our own. So this was a wonderful win for us. And the further we go into the season, I think more and more people would say they beat a really good Utah team, because Utah's going to beat a lot of teams. Our crowd was great. Obviously, home court is a huge advantage, so that helped us immensely. Our crowd never let up. When we looked like we were going to have 10 points at half, they didn't let up. They cheered, they cheered, they cheered. And we got a nice spurt to start the second half offensively, which was created by our defense. So, wonderful team win. Proud of all of them. You can single out individuals. I'm proud of our team.
Coach, not the prettiest first half basketball. I'm not sure if you heard AQ's impression of your halftime message, but what was your message to the players in the break, and kind of how did you recharge them going into the second half?
Well, I don't want to say something that's opposite of what AQ said, but my theme. We go in, the other coaches are in the other room, and I get a little off the cuff. But what I asked our stat guy, how many offensive rebounds did they have? And he said 10. The program showed official scores at 8. So I said, they've got 10 offensive rebounds on us. And we've missed every free throw we've shot. So rebound the ball. Your defending first shot defense is great. Rebound the ball. And then if you have to close your eyes, but make a free throw. You can make free throws. But don't let up. The key theme was your energy and effort is spectacular. Don't let that waver. That we'll get a spurt. We'll get an offensive spurt. Believe in yourself and one another. And then we said, take a good thought when you go out there, but you got to make a stop and get the first basket of the second half. And we found a way to do that.
Coach, I know you said you didn't want to single anybody out, but Angelo Choll scored 6 straight points there, broke open a tie game. Can you just comment on his spurt there?
Angelo, when he gets that ball in the low post, looks like an offensive low post player. He shoots that little left-hand jump hook, and now I think fans are surprised when it doesn't go in. And that's good to see. He's tough. He's physically strong. He's very athletic. And he's going to be someone that's going to help us. And his performances, I think, will grow and grow too as his experience with us goes. So Angelo was very good, had some huge baskets for us. I agree.
Interesting substitution pattern that I hadn't seen with you for a while, which is it seemed like every TV timeout you brought in 4 new guys, you left 1 out, and did that through the first half and most of the second half. Is that new for you?
That many. Yeah, I think last year we would sub 2 or 3 at the TV timeout, but maybe not quite as often. Everybody tells us, what are you going to do with all these players? Play them. find a way to play enough of them. And sometimes if you sub right before they think they're tired, you're money ahead. And I thought we did that today. And what it also does, it gives Dakari Allen and others confidence that I'm going to be in meaningful situations early. I'm going to have a game feel, and we go from there. You know, I thought Winston was playing really well, picked up his second foul and didn't want to come out. I didn't want him to get his third. And then he goes 3 and 4 in the second half. And I was planning on putting him back in, but I thought that what we had was a pretty good flow. So, you know, he played 17 minutes when normally he plays 27. But he was as happy for the team as anybody. And I'm hopeful that we can continue that kind of substitution. I know that it wears on your opponent unless they do the same thing. And hopefully if they do, their guys that are coming in are not quite as good as our guys that are coming in. And I know you're refreshed when you go back in, and you're more able to get in the stance and guard and get back and do the little things that will get you stops.
You see some teams do that. I mean, like Virginia Commonwealth, it's a 5 and 5 and 5 and just keep running at you. Is that the idea there? Is keeping that pressure on as much as you possibly can?
Well, you know me. I've been a guy that plays 8.5 at the most, and now we're playing 9 guys. And you know, what are we going to do when Shrigley comes back? And I got another guy. And what are we going to do when the 2 freshmen are healthy to play? Got 2 more guys. And you know, that's what good programs have. You got guys that can come in and play. As long as you don't get caught up in minutes and points, but only care about winning, you can do that. You can do that. And it comes if you've got quality people, and we've got that. You know, I'm sure all of them would rather play a few more minutes than they did. But the most important thing is that we got to win, and they all contributed.
Steve, you had such a well-defined offensive identity last year with X coming off the high ball screens, and you know, you could go back to that time and time again. How close are you guys to finding an offensive identity this season, and is that sort of a work in progress at this point?
I think we're going to be a team that can beat you in a lot of different ways. It won't be stop one guy. We could have 5 guys averaging double figures and nobody average over 13. I don't know. We may all of a sudden have somebody that can't miss a shot, whether that be Poe Lee or Trey Kell or JJ or Winston or whoever it might be, and he might have a stretch where he has 5 or 6 games of 25 points. I don't know. But right now, we're a hard team to guard because we can give the ball to different people and they can be productive with it. A year ago, we were good when X had the ball in his hands. Everybody knew that, and we wore X out. X was exhausted at times, but we didn't take him out. We strategically might take a timeout to keep him in the game. Now we can take people out and know we're going to get probably a guy come in and give us a boost when he comes in. But I like our offense. Trust me when I tell you this, because I've been with them every day. Our offense is better than our offense was last year. Our offense is better than our offense was last year. And we're going to make more shots as we get going, but we're a harder team to prepare for and a harder team to guard the way we're playing right now.
So do you think today was representative of that? Was it a testament to Utah's defense?
Today was representative a little bit, yeah. Ball didn't go in, but part of that was Utah. They guard. They make it hard for you to score. DeLon Wright was Defensive Player of the Year in the Pac-12. He's good. They got 2 7-footers that get in there and raise their hands, and it's hard to score. Just like when we put our hands up with Skylar and Angelo, we're hard to score on. So I said that many people that don't know basketball will say, boy, that was a ugly game and set the game back. It wasn't. Yeah, we're going to have to make more shots, and we will. But we had some good shots. We had some shots that looked like they were going to be good that they made hard for us. And it's sometimes easier for the winning team to say that. But I would have said it if we hadn't won. I would say we played hard. We defended in a fashion that wins. And we're going to continue to do that. We're going to make enough shots. We're going to make enough shots to be in every game we play. And hopefully we'll win a lot of them.
Utah missed heck of a lot of shots too. It seemed like they had a lot of open threes. Were they just unlucky not hitting them, or was there maybe a little bit more strategy on your guys' end to them missing those threes? You had the guys you wanted them to be shooting them, or you guys were contesting them more than it looked like. What was behind that percentage, you think?
Well, I know the first couple of perimeter shots they took, we had people flying at them with the long hands, high hands, and they missed some. And they might say, boy, we just missed some shots. I would say we challenged shots. We had them looking over their shoulder when they started to shoot. They had to shoot a little quicker than maybe they normally do. And we took 2 or 3 guys that are known to make threes, Taylor and Loveridge, and made it hard for them to get clean looks. And sometimes when they got clean looks, they missed them. But sometimes when you're running like crazy to catch up to them, they hurry it just a little bit. They're not quite as on balance as they normally are.
Utah was 2 of 12, I believe, first half on three-pointers, and they didn't really slow down in terms of volume in the second half. Were you at all worried that, the possibility of maybe if these shots start to fall, they start to find their stroke, how deep it could get? Interesting.
I thought we defended them pretty good. They're a hard team to guard. They have a lot of motion, a lot of movement, a lot of screening, re-screening, and they cut hard. But I thought we defended well, and I don't know that they want them to shoot half their shots from three-point range. I don't know what the philosophy will be as the season goes on. Against Ball State, a smaller team, they shot 43 free throws. They threw the ball inside, and they could score. When they threw the ball inside against us, we post-doubled early, made it hard for them to score. So they said we better go to plan B, is the way I looked at it. Normally DeLon Wright gets into creases and gaps and lobs the ball up and they dunk it, or they kick it out for an open three, and we didn't let that happen too often.
Steve, looking big picture, is there something that you learned about your team today?
I think you learn every day, every practice, but it reinforced what I think about our team. We're hard-nosed. We compete. We're very good defensively. We have multiple people that we can bring in who will guard the ball, not get screened, challenge shots, run the floor. So it's what I had expected I would see. I saw against a good team. And now we have to maintain that, stay with it. And, we've got to make sure we stay on edge when we get up 10 and stay on edge when we're up 2.
Steve, you talked about the substitutions and just how much better this offense is this year. I'm wondering, JJ playing 38 minutes, do you sort of see him this year fulfilling X's role in terms of leadership, maybe not necessarily offensively, but just being sort of that catalyst on the floor when times are tight?
That's too many minutes for JJ, really. But JJ, when the dust settles at the end of the season, will probably play more minutes than anybody. Because right now, our thought is 4 guys and JJ will stay. Then JJ will be the next guy out in the next rotation. So that's going to get him more minutes. And if he's productive and he knows how to play, he's in the best condition of his life. And Ted Leitner told me that he had 1 or 2 double-doubles for us last year, and he got one today, 11 rebounds, 12 points. JJ is a coach's delight. If we'd have won and he'd have played 5 minutes, he'd have been JJ up here the same way. You wouldn't have won him here, but he'd have been the same JJ in the locker room or here. He's what you win with, and we're thrilled that we've got him here. And he's good for this program, this university. I called him last night. He banged knees early in practice yesterday. I got scared because he couldn't walk on it, stiffened up, and he iced it. So I started calling him at 7:30 to find out how he was feeling, and at 8:30 and 9:30, and he finally called me back at 10 o'clock, laughing, "Coach, you told me not to have my phone on in class. I have class till 9:40 on Mondays." And he was there. And he was there. And that's JJ. I'd love to have him for another 5 years. I got it?
You mentioned playing
I'm sorry,
You started points tonight. What was the reason behind that? Was it just defend right Utah's point guard?
you talking about the starting lineup
Yeah.
with AQ instead of Poli? I thought they told everybody. We had practice on Sunday, and I changed it for a lot of reasons. But they all knew 10 o'clock practice, and Dwayne thought it was 11 o'clock practice. And, you know, the managers, when they saw him not there, called him and got him out of bed, but he got there 10 minutes late. And it's not a big deal. I didn't make it a big deal, but I said, you've got to be responsible, and, you know, you'll be in, you'll have your normal rotation, but AQ's starting tonight, and that's why I did that. I think AQ played well enough to say, hey, shall we start him again? And if we do, who would he be for? Or, you know, would it be somebody else? Would it be Angelo instead of Skyler? Would it be on and on? So we got good players, and I said before, we'll probably not have the same lineup for 30-some-odd games. So I could have told you that, but I wanted to be truthful with you that that's why we didn't start him today.
Coach, AQ said that he really, really wanted to guard DeLon. I mean, he goes way back with him and thought he could do a good job on him. He said he dropped a couple hints with you. Is that why you let him guard him, or is that just because that was the best matchup?
Well, when we started him, initially we were going to have JJ on him. We were going to start JJ on him initially. And then it was natural to let JJ go back to the normal guard and the bigger guy, a four-man if you want to say it, and then put AQ on him. AQ has become a really reliable, steady, smart defender. He gets around ball screens. He's long enough and quick enough to challenge shots, and most importantly, he's a competitive, smart player, and that's showing. And he loves a challenge. So I know they're high school teammates and friends, but more importantly, he wanted to guard the best player on the other team, whoever it would be.